Okay, and we are live with qualifying for round 4 of the RSS GT1 Championship. Going to be the second 1 hour long race of the championship. Once again, a 15-minute qualifying session where lap times are the average of 3 consecutive valid laps. And as usual, Sabo is out front. He's going to be the first to settle out. First few cars coming across the line now to start their laps. Be interesting to see how the gaps open and close as they come through Eau Rouge, Raidillon, down Camel. A lot of different setups being run in terms of straight line speed or handling. Did oversteer from Adam Mike. It being quite a long lap, people are not going to get much chance to set 3 consecutive laps here. Going to get about 2 runs out of it, really. Sabo sets the first clean lap, 17.5. Best laps in practice were around the 60. Interesting to see that despite the solo qualifying, still some groups having formed on track. None of these guys can see each other or interact with each other. having all these cars be on track at sort of the same place also gives you a pretty good idea of where people are gaining and losing time on each other without any interference. Front group completing their second laps now, so still no qualifying time on the board. Next lap. Castillo bringing up the back of this group here, standing in for Izu for the rest of the season. Bit of a mistake on exit that. Labo through P1 runs very wide on exit. That's probably going to mess up the consecutive laps. Just going to have enough time to start another run, I think. Maybe not. Might not actually manage to set a 3 consecutive laps here. That is definitely going to be the challenge with it being such a long lap. Duffy now should be the first car to set 3 consecutive laps. Only car that's managed to stay behind him without messing up is Potatohedron. Duffy comes across the line at the 17.7 and takes pole position with an average of 17.6. He's going to box drive back out. Don't think he's going to have time to set 3 laps though. Potatohedron behind crosses the line, also having done 3 valid laps with an 18.1 average. His fastest lap is 17.9. All of them going back to the pits at the end of this run. And they're not going to have time. Going to be close on setting 3 laps. Sabo coming into the final sector now. You have to be crossing the line about now to make it round to start a 3rd lap. Yeah, I think there's been some miscalculations from everybody here. Definitely people taking a risk and running 3 laps worth of fuel out of the box. Currently only 7 people have set a valid time. Is Russell, who's taken pole in the meantime though, now just sitting in the pits. His best is 17.188 with an average of 17.477. 10th and a half clear of Duffy. And we do finally have a Celine on the grid this race. With that glorious V8. Sabo now still on his first lap of this run. Need to get to the line by about 2:17. Obviously not going to happen. He absolutely hammers the limiter. This is going to leave Sabo without a qualifying time, I think. Sure who's currently on a run. Gonzalez, I think, is on his second lap, possibly third. Order up at the front is still Russa, Duffy, then Potato-Hedron. Behind that there is Guard, first of the Vipers. 4 different cars in the top 4. Is Vatak with an 18441, just 400ths off Shard. The 10th back there is Nick Wu, also in the Viper. And it is Castillo, bringing it in 7th place on his first appearance. Another couple 10ths back, 19.8. Radu bringing up the back of the valid times with a 21.3. Highest top speed so far is Potato-Hedron with 281.69 kilometers an hour. Nice. That's 4 kilometers an hour faster than Duffy and 7 faster than Rosa on pole. That is, Sabo crossing the line is not going to have a qualifying time. It's going to put him starting down in 10th, just behind his teammate. Gonzalez will be in 9th. Also not having set 3 valid laps is Sumoy in 11th, Adamike 12th. And Etty bringing up the rear in 13th. With qualifying over, I am going to restart my game quickly. Yeah, I can't see what laps you did there. I mean, it says your fastest was a 16.6, which I don't know whether you actually did that. That seemed to be on your outlap, which would actually make sense. If you nailed the outlap. But obviously that lap doesn't count, so... I mean, your last lap was a 17.3, which is, you know, a tenth and a half clear of Oni. Okay, everybody lined up on the grid now. Is a rolling start, which will be starting on the Camel Straight. Be interesting to see what strategy people go for this race. Definitely looks like softs might be an option, and depends how well people can look after the tyres. As I get ready to do the rolling start. And everything set up now. And off we go. See who can get the best run off the start. Gonna be Potato Hedron diving up the inside for second place. Hold up the inside of Duffy. Ross managing to stay out in front. Potato Hedron having backed out into P3 now. Side by side, Vatak and Wu. Wu having had a pretty good launch off there. Now we're looking up the inside of Shard. Into the hairpin. He's not going to manage to get close enough though. Vatak meanwhile looking around the outside. Here the contact with Wu is going to give Castillo the opportunity to get alongside. He's not going to manage to do anything with that either. Go back, Adamike now on the inside of Sabo. Let's get the place into Puon. Bradu running wide in that Celine. To give a couple of cars the opportunity to get past as Sabo goes around the outside. Also going to give Etty the run. He's nearly going to make contact with Sabo. Who does bin it off to the inside. Just about keeps it pointing the right way. Side by side, Samoy and Bradu now. They come up to the bus stop. Up in front, not much going on. Castillo's going to have another look at Vatak. See whether he can do anything with the slipstream down here. Hedron definitely want to keep an eye on up front as well with the straight line speed that they've got on that lister. Vatak running very wide over the top of Radion. They give Castillo the position. Vatak dives out to the inside again though, but isn't going to do anything with it. Adamant meanwhile on the back of Gonzalez. Sabo still struggling down in 10th place now. Like some very impressive lap times in qualifying. Mike is going to brake late. He's going to send it up the inside of Gonzalez and doesn't manage to get it stopped though. Has to take to the escape road. It was very nearly an impressive dive. Adrian just half a second back from Duffy now. Good. Really help him out with the slipstream. See what kind of speed he gets up to down here. He's got plenty of gearing for it, but nope, just lifts off. Not going to be close enough to do anything. Meanwhile, in the Viper, also a pretty quick car in a straight line. They've been going for higher downforce over the last few races, though. Behind them, Castillo and Wu battling it out for 5th place. Behind them, we see Gonzalez running very wide off the track. And then Adamite goes side by side through Puan. That is a brave place to do it. Adamite's going to hold it up the inside. But he's going to lose out on the exit. Have a look into the next corner. Gonzalez leaves a gap, but it's not enough to risk it. Now that straight line speed on the Lister. Same setup as for Tetrahedron. Really showing itself that they both run wide on the exit of Blanchimont. Generally what happens if you try and go side by side. Once again he's going to try and outbrake Gonzalez into the bus stop, but just backs out this time. Every car having started on the medium tyre as expected. See how the strategies work out around the 30-40 minute mark. Shard having lost a few places now, having dropped from 4th to 7th behind Vatak. He cuts Radion. The slipstream on Vatak, he should be able to get alongside here. Vatak moves across to the inside though to defend, but Shard's not having that. He's going to dive even tighter. He sticks it up the inside, and they make contact in the middle of the corner though. That's going to force Adamike and Gonzalez to cut the corner. Have to be investigated after the race. See whether anyone gained an advantage there. Guard continuing to fall back now though, going to lose the place to Sabo as well possibly. Sabo sweeps around the outside, and yep, it's Shard having gone from 4th to 10th now. Castillo closing in on the back of Gonzalez. Sorry, Wu. Not going to be enough to do anything into the bus stop though. Top three still holding their gaps, about a second between of them still. Make for some very interesting plays around the time of the mandatory pit stop. We see Wu making the mistake over Radion. That might give Castillo the opportunity to get past. He does pull alongside. Wu's going to tuck him behind, try and get the slipstream. Tries to outbrake him at the end of the camel. And does just about manage to get the car stopped within track limits, but not enough to hold Castillo off. Mike seems to be closing in on Gonzalez now. Again, with that straight line speed in the Lister, he should be able to get alongside into Blanchimont, although, as happened last time, I imagine they're both going to run wide again. Nope, Mike does the smart thing, backs out this time. That does make Gonzalez run wide. He's not going to help him when track limits are checked after the race. Mike's going to hold it round the outside at the bus stop, but not going to be able to do anything by the exit. Sitting right on his diffuser through the source. If I can get a good run through Radion, he should be clean past down the camel. Both of them cut over the top of Radion. I think that's going to have cost Mike his run. Drops back quite far behind Gonzalez now. Garden Vatak meanwhile side by side into Lacoon. Shard getting the place out of that. Dips a wheel into the gravel on the exit. Ooh, and Vatak runs wide at the hairpin. Top group having started to spread out now. Duffy 2 seconds back, and Hedron another 2 seconds behind, as Castillo gets very sideways into Sector 3 there. Was making some good progress reeling in Hedron, but that is going to cost him. Mike, though, managing to get past Gonzalez before Blanchimont this time. Gonzalez, they're both going to run very deep. Gonzalez running even deeper and almost hitting Mike. Etty and Sumoy meanwhile at the back. The battle for 11th place. Etty having managed to get past Sumoy in the bus stop, I think. Whole field just starting to spread out now, with about 15-20 minutes until the first pit stop should be coming in. Mike closing in on Wu now. As Vatak has unfortunately retired. Bit of a lock-up from Adamike there, but he's going to close in on Wu regardless into the bus stop. Sumoy and Etty meanwhile still battling it out. Sumoy has got past into the bus stop this time. Adamike and Wu now though side by side after the source. Wu's Viper possibly actually being faster in a straight line here though, but Adamike runs very far over the top of Radion. Once again, that's not going to help him close in on Wu. Gonzalez meanwhile closing in behind as well. Front Castillo once again reeled in Potato Hedron. Gonna get a much better run through Puon, but I don't think there's much he's gonna be able to do with it. Gonzalez and Adamike meanwhile, Gonzalez has managed to get through, take 6th place. Sabo behind will be looking to do the same, I'm sure. Castillo now with a much better run through Blanchimont, pulls up alongside, sends it in at the last second on Potato Hedron, and does get cleanly ahead by the second apex. Potato Hedron definitely just playing it safe though. Now with the straight line speed, see whether he can do anything out of Lasaur. Seems to have fallen back quite far already though. A break at the bottom of the hill there and a reasonable lift. Definitely not flat out in these older cars. Here running very wide in front. Adrian seems to just not have the pace to stay on him though. Bit of a lock up from Sabo into the bus stop there. Still closing in on Adamite though, who has fallen back from Gonzalez. God also closing in on these two. Gonzalez out in front of this group, just on the back of Wu. Once again, Wu is gonna blast off down the Camel Straight though. See what Gonzalez can do with the slipstream. Bit of weaving from Wu. Right on the limiter at the end of the straight. Sends it just about gets stopped. Wu gonna look to get the place back again. Doesn't manage it though. It might give Adamite the opportunity to get past now as well into the hairpin. He does send it up the inside. Just runs wide, having to turn out for Adamite there as well. It's going to allow Sabo through as well. 3 places lost in one sector. Now a 4th place as the fellow Viper of Shard also gets past. Adamite and Sabo now. Adamite with that, and Gonzalez, sorry, now Adamite with the much better straight line speed, just leaps around Gonzalez. See whether he can pull away from this group now. Gonzalez definitely looking like he doesn't have much of a response to this, even with the slipstream. Don't think he's going to manage to do anything. Definitely looks faster through Radion. I think Adamite is once again pulling away down the Camel Straight. Closing in on Sabo into the Coombe now. See whether he can take advantage of all this battling. Wu, meanwhile, having made a mistake somewhere in the Coombe, and that is going to allow Simoy through. We're getting back past Samoy though, as Samoy has made a mistake in the middle sector. Still got quite a big gap behind to Radabradu and Eti. God, now right on the back of Sabo now, as they both just about managed to stay on the curb on the exit of Blanchiment. God, definitely having lost some time from that. Up front, Rosa still 2 seconds clear of Duffy. You see the first car to pit is Samoy. God now swapping to the inside, sends it into the comb. He's going to give Sabo the inside for the next corner though, and he's going to manage to hold the inside on the next corner as well. Good defense from Shard there, but Shard once again is going to dive out to the inside. Sabo just turns out to avoid the contact there, but manages to keep the place anyway. Should start seeing a few more cars come into the pits in the next 5-10 minutes. As I briefly go AFK before all that. And I am back as we see Shard now quite far back behind this group. And he has pitted Means 3 cars are pitted now. It is Shard, Sumoy and Essie, as we see Potato coming to the pits now as well. See whether his teammate's going to follow him. He's not. Gonzalez is going to pit though. Again, his teammate Sabo is not. These guys will definitely be swapping onto the mediums. Castillo closing in on Duffy. Duffy presumably struggling with tyre wear a lot more than Castillo is. Fastest lap of the race so far is an 18.872 by Rosa. Couple of cars just dipping into Castillo, not quite there. Imagine in the second stint with much lower fuel, fresh tyres, there's going to be some much quicker laps set. Etty has crashed at the top of Radion. Stays clear of the track though, although there's nobody heading through there right now anyway. As Gonzalez has pitted. Gone back to the pits, seems like a retirement possibly. Not quite sure what's happened there. And indeed, Gonzalez has retired. Still most of the field yet to pit. We do see Wu now coming into the pits as well. I imagine most of these guys, if they're going to pit for mediums, are going to pit about now. Some of them might hang on for softs, but it's quite a risky strategy. Definitely doesn't look like it'd be worth the risk for us up front though, with a still a comfortable 2.5 second lead. Oh, but Rossa has spun as I say that. Has spun on the exit of Puon. He's definitely going to have to pit for some fresh tyres after that, I think. Is that confusion going to allow Castillo to get past Duffy as well, as he takes the provisional lead? And indeed, Russell has pitted. Duffy not having a great run over Radion there. Theo going to be quite a bit quicker, tucks into the slipstream. Nowhere near close enough to do anything though. As indeed with fresh tyres and low fuel, we see some much faster lap times in now. Here's Shard going half a second up on the previous fastest lap. Adamike and Rosa battling on the pit exit though. With the advantage Adamike, the already battered in tyres. That does mean that both Potato and Adamike, having done that undercut compared to the lead group, are now provisionally ahead of Rosa. See what happens with the front group here. Definitely looks like they might just hang on for softs. Hedron has set the fastest first sector. Well, this does mean that Potato from 4th is provisionally in the lead. Depends on just what Duffy and Castillo can do in pit stops. As Duffy does now come into the pits. That leaves Castillo out. Try and drag those tyres out. Does look like he was struggling with them a lot less, although lap times in the 20s aren't great. See what Duffy does in the pit stop here. He's going to fall back behind Potato Hedron now. And looks like Adamike 2 comes out the pits just about ahead of Adamike and Rosa, so he's only lost one place provisionally there. He has taken the medium tyre. Definitely seems like it's not really the best strategy to try and drag the tyres out any longer than necessary. Adamike does sweep past, but Duffy's going to outbrake him, but not going to be close enough to get him into Lacoum. Like it's going to be a pretty good battle for what is provisionally second place here, although Castillo might have taken the lead here. Depends what he can do. As Castillo does now finally pit. Keep an eye on what tyres he takes. Definitely should be able to make the softs last this long, but it is still a risk. Russia now right on the back of Duffy to regain some of the places he lost earlier. Is Sabo, still having not pitted, takes the lead. Now going to be a race as Adamike sets the first 17 of the race. just about. See where Castillo comes out the pits. He does come out ahead of Potato Hedron, so Potato Hedron has gained a lot from that pit stop. That early pit stop, but nowhere near enough to get past Castillo. He's just Sabo left to pit now. Looks like he's definitely going to stretch it out for the medium, for the softs. Castillo did take the mediums. One problem with taking the softs for Sabo is that he is going to have to battle with people as he comes out the pits. I think it'll put him just on the back of that group for 5th place. Could bring him out somewhere around just in front of Shard. So now continuing that recovery, closing in on Adamike. As Rosa sets the fastest Sector 2 of the race so far, a full second up on Adamike. Second clear of just about everyone on the grid. Sabo does now finally pit. With 18 minutes to go, it definitely looks like softs are the play. Those having started down in 10th, it was a reasonable idea to try something. See where he comes out the pits and what he can do on those soft tyres. With this low fuel, it should be basically a qualifying run, which would put him a good half second, a second lap quicker than anyone else on the field right now. About 8 laps to go, that could help him get some of these places back. He does come out in front of Shard as expected. And he has taken the soft tyres. See what kind of a dent he can make on that 10-second gap to Duffy now. Definitely going to have to look after those tyres, not get them too hot. Back up front, Castillo's still out in front, Potato Hedron just about hanging on a second and a half behind. It is indeed the Audi car here. Seems to have stopped closing in that gap to Adamike now. He is going to have slightly fresher tyres by the end though, I think. Whether that will help or not, I don't know. Seems to not be, as Adamike once again gets the fastest lap. Sabo has had not a great lap time. It was his out lap still. Doesn't seem to be closing in much on Duffy, so it's possible that the softs just aren't working. Russell once again closing in on Adamike. Adamike possibly having those tyres on the last lap. Russell also setting the fastest Sector 2 again, beating the previous best by 3/10. He's a whole 7/10 quicker than Adamike on this lap. Would suggest Rosa is running quite a lot of downforce, and the top speed would also suggest that. Going to be right on the back of Adamike through the bus stop. Going to be very difficult to overtake Adamike, even if he does manage to stay on him though, with that much better straight line speed from the Lister. Sabo now low 18s, it's much better lap time. Definitely looks like he's not going to manage to reel Duffy in though. Castillo up front now, having extended that gap to 3 seconds. Win should be in the bag, provided he doesn't make any mistakes. Rather impressive run from 7th on the grid. Russell once again closing in on Adamike through the middle sector. Bit of oversteer from Castillo. Russell really having closed that gap to Adamike now, although once again Adamike much faster on the straights, has to lift a lot more through Blanchimont, it seems. Allow Rosa to get really close into the bus stop as he lets off the brakes and sends it. Just about manages to squeeze through. Adamike having to, pretty much being forced to concede that position there. Again, Adamike's going to look up the inside into the source there, almost going to make contact. That's probably going to cost Adamike quite a lot on the exit, but he does have much better straight line speed. See how much he closes in before they even get to Eau Rouge. He does cut the apex ready on. That will also have to be reviewed after the race to see whether he gained a lasting advantage from that. He does back out into the Coombe, so... But then sends it up the inside again on the exit. We're also getting a much better exit though. We're going to be just about ahead into the hairpin, but Adamike's still there. A much quicker inside line. Rossa does eventually back out for No Name. Rossa looking at the inside into P1, definitely not the place to try it. Adamike running that low downforce setup is going to be much slower through here though. Rossa has been a lot quicker through the middle sector the rest of the race. And once again, just getting held up by Adamike. Whether the slipstream helps him stay on him seems not. Front Castillo not relaxing at all. To 17.771 with the fastest third sector. All this battling with Adamike and Rossa has allowed Duffy to close that gap slightly. Sabo behind him, definitely not making any progress on the soft tyres. So once again closing in through the bus stop. Both these guys also seem to be catching Adrian now. Whether Rossa can manage to disrupt this side heart double podium. Still looks like nothing is going to disrupt Castillo, who's now nearly 6 seconds out in the lead though. Definitely looks like Potato Heathen's tyres are starting to fall off, having pitted earlier than most. So once again, closing in across the line, but does run wide Atlas Source. He's going to drop him back out of the 16 of Adamite now. He's got a much better run through Radion though. Adamite also dropping back from Potato-Hedron, not having had a great run. Of course, by the end of the straight, Adamite's straight line speed once again takes over and the gap starts to extend. Also looked pretty wide through Puan there, but didn't seem to have cost him much. Still definitely the fastest car through Sector 2 at the moment. Oh, as Adamite has a big slide. Does lose those 2 places, so it's going to put Rosa on the podium. Now Duffy to take P4. Sabo now is going to close in on Adamite. Don't think he's going to be anywhere near close enough unless there's another mistake from Adamite. Kumoi now coming into the pits. He might actually have the gap to hold 8th place versus Wu. Doesn't have the time to go for a fastest lap run, so... Oh, anyway. Oh, he might do actually. Or he's got the pace to do that anyway, I'm not sure. Theo still out in front, having presumably chilled out a bit with that gap down to 4 seconds now. Still closing in. Could be on much fresher tyres than Potato-Hedron, so... Not sure where the loss of pace has come from. And Sumo did pit for another set of mediums. Etty, meanwhile, also pitted for a soft tyre. Castillo continuing to fall back. See what his lap time is this time. Last lap he was 1.4 seconds slower than Potato-Hedron. Once again sets a lap time firmly in the 20s. Potato-Hedron with a 19.4. Another 1.4 seconds off. Not sure what's going on. Possibly fuel saving here actually. Only 1 lap to go. Hope he makes it round in time. Or he runs out of fuel. Doesn't seem to be short shifting. Possibly. No, on board and see if there's any lifting and coasting. Now only 1.5 seconds. There is a big lift and coast. He's definitely running out of fuel. Would be absolutely dreadful to lose the win now. Not taking that extra fuel is possibly what got him the second gap over Tetrahedron after the pit stops anyway, so this could be the finding out part. Rossa on the back of Tetrahedron though, that's going to hold Tetrahedron up, and that is going to stop him closing in on Castillo. Castillo probably not going to know that though. If he did know that, I'm sure he'd know he could relax a bit, but oh, Rossa does spin it in the right hand of that, and that's going to allow Duffy through as well. Just barely scrapes by with Rossa slow in the middle of the track there. Theo's still holding a second gap though. Very much short shifting now, must be running on fumes. Must be praying that he makes it across the line before it runs out. I think there's going to be another big lift into the bus stop. Looks like Tetrahedron is going to be nowhere near close enough. Castillo does run wide, but Tetrahedron almost loses it on the apex there. But it is Castillo who comes across the line on fumes to take the win. Followed by Tetrahedron, and then Duffy, and then Rossa. Just losing out on that podium at the end there. Tetrahedron's teammate Adamike brings it home in 5th. Sabo in 6th. God, some distance back in 7th. Yet to come up to the bus stop even. God, possibly also running out of fuel with that eco driving through the bus stop. Does cross the line. Sumoy brings it home in 8th. Wu, meanwhile, another 10 seconds back, brings it home in 9th. Etty having already crossed the line a lap down. Radu, the last car out on track, is going to bring it home in 11th, also 1 lap down. As he does now cross the line in 11th. And then does whatever you would describe that as. So that is Castillo taking the win on his debut in this series. Closely followed by Tetrahedron, Duffy, Rossa, Adamike. Then Sabo trailing behind, struggling on the soft tyres at the end there, especially with all that success ballast that he has. Charge, Sumoy, Wu, and Etty rounding out the top 10, with Radu in 11th. Gonzalez and Vatek having retired in 12th and 13th will not be counted, not completed 75% race distance. That is that until next week, where we are at Silverstone's bridge layout. Will be interesting. Much higher speed track than current Silverstone. So yeah, until next week.